Luck is a mysterious companion in our lives. It does not choose people based on merit and does not arrive on schedule. Sometimes it accompanies those who simply happen to be in the right place at the right time, and sometimes only thanks to it can a terrible tragedy be avoided. In this video, I present to you a collection of moments featuring people who were unexpectedly smiled upon by luck. Enjoy watching. The surfer captured the moment when he managed to pass under the crest of a wave. The footage looks mesmerizing. During training, the snowboarder managed to perform a trick, but the joy was quickly spoiled when he collided with another person. It seems that the man himself did not expect that he would be able to do it. While getting out of the car, the young man forgot about the handbrake, but he was lucky and managed to get back inside in time to stop the vehicle. During practice, a boy jumped off his skateboard, but the child following him landed on his skateboard and managed to stay upright, balancing on two skateboards at the same time. The boys were shocked by this. When the girl was preparing her breakfast, she did not expect to find a cute bracelet inside the box. The snow caught this driver by surprise, and his car skidded. However, as it turned out, the car skidded into a very convenient position, and now he does not even need to park. Tourists traveling on the Iranian island of Hormuz were fortunate to witness the so-called blood rain, when everything around them, including the water of the strait, turned a deep crimson color. The little boy was lucky and managed to high-five all the players of his favorite basketball team, the Atlanta Hawks. The girl decided to try throwing a ball into a prize basket. She did not expect to succeed and even turned away after the throw, but she scored and won a large toy. It is very good that these two cars stopped, but unfortunately, there are other cases. It seems that this goalkeeper does not even need to watch the ball to defend his goal. Sometimes, what seems like bad luck actually brings victory. It seems that the deer did not fully understand what had happened, and the young man was lucky that the animal does not react instantly. Two athletes were afraid of colliding and let everything happen on its own. But the crew of the second catamaran did not panic and did everything possible to avoid the accident. The young man was preparing for a powerful punch when a girl walked right in front of the punching bag. She was very lucky that he noticed her at the very last moment. The volleyball player demonstrated excellent reflexes and deflected the ball that was flying straight at her face. The collapse of this structure could have led to a terrible tragedy, but fortunately, at that moment, no one was in the fall zone. A woman was walking across a bridge to the other side of the river, and just a minute later, the bridge collapsed. It seems that this cricket player has secret eyes on the back of his head. Just look at how skillfully he caught the ball, while standing with his back to the bowler.
Good all-round performance.
Personally, another good performance from you, another big 100.
Yeah. Right, Dicko.
Thanks, mate.
The tennis player became very angry and threw the ball with such force that it knocked the cap off another person's head. The young man caught a cap that a woman standing next to him also wanted to catch. When he saw her disappointed face, he immediately gave her his prize. The girl was frightened and at first did not understand why her mother grabbed her so roughly and pulled her home, but then everything became clear. Two aggressive dogs were running after the woman. Just look at how easily this elderly woman handles a chainsaw. Some people practice jumping from the stage into the crowd during concerts, but not everyone is as lucky as this young man. During a jump from a ramp, this snowboarder had to experience 3 states at once: luck, bad luck, and luck again. A biker noticed a malfunction in a car and stopped the driver to tell him about it. As it turned out, the problems were serious, so the man was very lucky to meet such a caring motorcyclist on the road. A man opened the trash bin to throw something away, and at that moment, his daughter tossed an empty soda can and missed. The father did not get confused, and with a few quick movements, sent the can straight into the target, although he himself did not expect such a result. The job of a loader requires not only strength, but also the ability to accurately calculate the dimensions of the forklift. A woman lost control and drove off the road onto the shoulder, where her car got stuck. She was lucky that other drivers were not indifferent and, through joint effort, helped her return to the roadway. Just look at how many people stopped what they were doing to help.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This day was unsuccessful for the fisherman in terms of his catch, but it can still be called lucky because he was not injured as a result of the explosion. At first, the cyclist did not even understand what had happened, and when he did, the worst was already behind him. It was his 2nd birthday. The reaction of this young man clearly demonstrates his skill in volleyball. The young man was lucky to have his story dramatically accompanied by thunder and lightning. Now, this impressive moment is part of his archive. While searching with a metal detector on the beach, the explorer was lucky enough to find a gold chain. The young man threw a frisbee so successfully that he did not expect such a result himself. The young man calculated the speed and trajectory of 2 balls with astonishing precision and reassured all the perfectionists who watched this video. Sometimes, to win at slot machines, it is enough to let children play. This boy was very lucky that the plate ultimately remained on the table. The cyclist was on the brink of death, and not just once, but twice. One can only wonder how this young man learned such a trick with ballpoint pen caps. The truck driver performed such a dangerous maneuver that he nearly collided with a train. Even a police officer was forced to run away from this reckless driver. However, I believe the offender was eventually found and held accountable. This day became a second birthday for the cyclist. Sometimes we manage to do what seems impossible, just like in this video. The young man noticed just in time that the car had started rolling backward. One can only admire Mother's reactions. Just look at how easily this woman caught the ball. The girl was very lucky. During the concert, she was noticed by a young man who had access to the stage. He took her smartphone and filmed the performance from angles unavailable to other spectators. With just one attempt, this young man managed to win 2 valuable prizes at once. During a river rafting trip, a fish accidentally landed in this man's boat. Despite the surprise, he managed to hold it in his hands. When a man cut part of a tree, a squirrel jumped out of it. It was very lucky that the saw did not catch it. This young man was lucky that the owner of the dogs returned home soon. Otherwise, he would have had to remain in that position for a very long time. Even if a car lets you pass, it is still very important to make sure that other drivers have also noticed you on the road. The parachutist misjudged the landing spot slightly, but at least he was able to cool off in the lake. The young man thought he had missed, but the ball bounced off the corner pocket and went perfectly into another pocket. While choosing clothes, a customer suddenly discovered money in the front pocket of a pair of jeans. It was a pleasant surprise, but who left it there remains a mystery. One can only envy this young man's accuracy. Just look at how precise his shot was. The young man was lucky to capture the moment when lightning appeared immediately after his gesture. Of course, it was just a coincidence, but it still looks very impressive. These people were fortunate enough to experience the unique sensation of an airplane flying directly overhead and to capture it on video. The explorer's metal detector indicated that something was hidden inside that tree. As it turned out, there were a great many coins stored there. Most likely, it was someone's hidden treasure. This family was lucky to win a golden McDonald's card that provides free meals twice a week for 50 years. Such cards are not sold and are issued only to a select group of people. But thanks to a contest, the authors of the video now have one. The hockey player demonstrated remarkable agility and, using his stick, managed to lift and pass a fallen stick to another teammate. Luck smiled on the boy, and he threw the ball directly into a suspended bucket. Neither his father nor the child himself expected it. These guys came up with a fun activity and celebrated every time one cup landed perfectly inside another.
Oh! Let's do it. Come on, Dan.
If you thought this skier had fallen unsuccessfully, you are mistaken. In fact, the fall turned out to be his real stroke of luck, because an avalanche was moving right behind him, and in this way he managed to save himself. One can only admire this man's calmness. Despite the cracking sound, he continued walking and stopped for just a second only when a tree fell just a few centimeters away from him. Perhaps he was simply confident in his luck, or maybe he had experienced similar situations before. During a game of Jenga, this woman was incredibly lucky to pull out a block without damaging the stability of the tower. This man did everything possible to carry his son to the shore. It did not matter that he got his feet wet, because he achieved his main goal. This girl experienced real extreme excitement when, while riding down colorful slides, a bull ran directly in front of her. The young man decided to test his bowling skills and his luck at the same time. He spun the first ball and sent it down the lane, while throwing the second one normally. In the end, he managed to score 2 strikes in a row.
Yes!
Despite her advanced age, the woman showed excellent reflexes and managed to catch all the falling objects. After what happened to this young man in the hotel corridor, he decided not to leave his room unnecessarily. This driver is clearly confident in his luck, but such behavior on the road is extremely dangerous. With his risky maneuvers, he endangered not only himself but other drivers as well. The young man jokingly decided to catch a fish with his hands while surfing, and he actually succeeded. He did not expect it to work, so he was pleasantly shocked by what happened. A fan decided to pass the ball to his favorite basketball team, and he managed to do it in an incredibly spectacular way. Unfortunately, not all drivers prepare in time for the winter season and change their tires. In such cases, when the first snow falls, situations like the ones captured in this footage occur. Friends noticed that 2 bottles in a drink vending machine were heavily tilted. They decided to test their luck and try to push them out using a bottle of water placed on the very top shelf. Surprisingly, they succeeded, which made them very happy. The young man decided to have a snack during a hike. When he was taking a sausage out of the package, it slipped from his hands, but he managed to catch it. A man on a quad bike noticed a snake on the road and decided not to harm it. He drove around it, but nearly fell himself. This young man managed to do something that thousands of others had failed to accomplish. He was able to retrieve a gold bar from a transparent box with a small opening. The coach reacted with incredible speed and helped his trainee successfully complete the jump. These people were very lucky that they were not in the swimming pool at the moment the tree fell.
Oh my gosh.
During the competition, the skier not only managed to avoid falling, but did so in an incredibly spectacular and graceful way. Not only people are capable of helping one another, and this video proves it. A curious red dog did not notice that a rolling gate was lowering above him and ended up trapped underneath it, but he was very lucky that just a few seconds later, his friend came to rescue him. This bright fish was lucky and did not end up in the mouth of a moray eel. A tourist simply decided to sit on the slope of a cliff to admire the beautiful scenery. But at that moment, one of the large rocks broke off and began rolling down at tremendous speed. For a second, the young man thought the rock would fall onto his car, but he was lucky, and that did not happen. The girl decided to participate in a contest at a snack bar to win free food. To do so, she needed to press the button exactly at 10 o'clock. She managed to do it even though she did not expect such precision from herself. What this young man managed to do in this video is not something everyone can accomplish. Perhaps he himself succeeded in performing this trick only once. The owner of this car was probably born lucky, because how else can one explain that 2 trees fell just a centimeter away from his vehicle on both sides? Just imagine the emotions of this boy when he was lucky enough to get an autograph from his idol.
Gracias, Dibu. Permiso, Dibu, gracias, okay? Gracias,
A man inherited a house from his grandfather. During renovations, he discovered a metal box, and inside it there was a pleasant sum of money. This young man managed to hit the target on the first try, but his real record was that his axe stuck into the target with the blunt side rather than the blade. The young man decided to interact with the audience in an unusual way and nearly fell, but the spectators quickly helped him, and he continued his performance. The author of this video was unlucky to encounter an inattentive driver on the road, but he was fortunate to have excellent reflexes. It is unknown what the driver of the black car was thinking when he decided to change lanes, but the author of the video demonstrated excellent reflexes despite the shock. It seems that the workers did not take the truck's load capacity into account when they loaded so much hay into the back. The vehicle began to tip over, but the driver managed to evacuate in time. The girl herself was shocked by what she managed to accomplish during a game of billiards. The girl decided to take a spectacular selfie in the stands during a football match, and immediately after her gesture, a goal was scored. Apparently, this young man confused sports and decided to play a little tennis with a bat. Behind these precise shots into the basket lie either years of training, excellent accuracy, or perhaps simply luck. This is what can happen when an inexperienced female driver is behind the wheel with summer tires. However, despite all the difficulties, she managed to slow her car down. A skier was descending a mountain slope without suspecting that a crack would appear in his path. Perhaps that is exactly why he managed to overcome the obstacle. The skier became frightened only afterward, when the worst was already behind him. This video clearly demonstrates why crossing between cars when they are stopped at a traffic light can be dangerous. Fortunately, the driver of this vehicle was following the speed limit, and everything ended with nothing more than a scare for both him and the pedestrian. Two friends were walking down the street after the rain when suddenly a tree fell right behind them, exactly where they had been standing just a few seconds earlier. Moreover, the falling tree caused a short circuit in a power line, and the wires nearly fell into a puddle. One could say these guys were lucky twice. During heavy rainstorms on highways, it is very important not to exceed the speed limit, because splashes from puddles can temporarily reduce visibility to zero and cause an accident. Fortunately, this driver kept a safe distance on the road. This girl's car was being taken away by a tow truck, but she did not get upset and decided to take a real chance. She suggested playing rock, paper, scissors with a police officer, and he agreed. When she won, her car was returned to her. A man noticed that one of the tourists had lost a ski, and it was flying straight toward him at high speed, but he managed to catch it in time. One can only admire his reaction. A truck began to skid, and its trailer tilted heavily to one side, but the driver demonstrated his skill and managed to regain control. It was very fortunate that there were no cars in the oncoming lane at that moment, and that the driver behind him was keeping a safe distance. Suddenly, a rock slide with large boulders struck this tourist site. Many people were present at the time, but they were extremely lucky that no one was at the epicenter of the collapse. A deer ran onto the road and greatly frightened the driver. The animal avoided a collision thanks to a perfectly timed jump. During a race on a track, a pigeon ended up on the course. Despite the approaching car, it remained in place, and when it tried to take off, it was literally blown away by the airflow. The moment was captured on camera, and the bird's flip in the air amused the commentator. This young man decided to gamble for money for the first time, and luck smiled upon him. Just look at how happy and shocked he was by his winnings. These newlyweds chose a beautiful location on the water for their wedding, and a newborn baby girl was supposed to hold the ring box. The woman carrying the baby accidentally dropped the box, and the wedding host tried to catch it, but something went wrong. In the end, she still managed to save the rings from falling into the water. This young man had just won $1 million in the lottery. His colleagues shared the joyful moment with him and were also happy about his good fortune. The driver of this car did not expect that someone in a black vehicle would suddenly decide to leave their parking spot. It is a good thing the author of the video has excellent reflexes. When the net of one of the hockey teams was empty, no one expected the puck to come flying in from the opposite end. It seems that even the player who scored the goal was shocked by it. This man is crying not from sorrow, but from joy. For many years, he had dreamed of finding the flower Reflexes arnoldii. He regularly explored the jungles of the island of Sumatra, but all his searches were unsuccessful. And finally, the day came when he fulfilled his dream. Reflexes arnoldii is considered a very rare flower, and its population continues to decline due to deforestation. Spectators in the stadium stopped watching the match because all their attention shifted to a cat hanging at a great height. Eventually, the cat fell, but the fans managed to catch it using scarves, and it was unharmed. A woman and her child were lucky to witness a predatory fish hunting. They had never seen anything like that so close to the shore before. These guys managed to withstand the force of the ocean and stay afloat. A police officer noticed a malfunction in a heavy truck and decided to act immediately. He pushed a motorcyclist out of the way and shielded him with his own body, thereby saving his life. A police officer noticed that a herd of bulls was running straight toward a little girl. Without hesitation, he rushed to protect her, and fortunately, everything turned out well. This young man clearly demonstrated why it is very important to use protective equipment when working with an angle grinder. Just imagine what could have happened if he had not worn safety glasses. The young man was shocked by his own ball throw. He tried to aim for the yellow basket, but the ball bounced and landed in the pink one. In the end, he received not only positive emotions from his good luck, but also a large toy. These men picked up an unwanted vending machine and decided to repair it. When they removed the cover from the bill storage compartment, they found a large sum of money and some coins. Apparently, the owner had forgotten to collect the cash, which pleasantly surprised them. The girl demonstrated true snowboarding skill and managed to ride her board even across the water. And that is all for today. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to rate it, subscribe to the channel, and press the notification bell. Your support is the greatest reward for me. Thank you for your attention. See you soon. Goodbye.